Hey everyone, I'm Laura and welcome to Book Bubbler. Today I have a slightly late wrap up for the third quarter of 2020. I just double checked and sometimes triple checked my numbers here and something doesn't add up. I don't know how, I don't know what's wrong, but whatever, it doesn't matter. Okay, so in the third quarter, I read 49 books, which is pretty average. I mean, it's a little lower than I would like. I'm not knocking it, but was hoping that it would be a little higher. Anyways, that would bring my total for the year as of the end of September to 141 books. My Goodreads goal for the year is 150. Currently, as of whatever time it is in the afternoon, almost 3 in the afternoon on Monday, I'm at 149 and I'm almost done with more books. So I will hit 150 by the end of day today. Okay, so of the 49 books that I read, 35 were physical, 13 were ebooks, and 1 was an audiobook. And of those 49 books, this is really bad, I owned 20 and I borrowed 29 from the library. So you can tell that my library was open again and I took full advantage of the browsing and the poking around and the what the heck, let's try this, which is not a bad thing. I'm not knocking it, but my God, Laura, read your own books. Anyways, okay. So yeah, not terrible. My favorite book of this quarter, which really surprised me, was Lanny by Max Porter. And I read that for, I think, the semifinals of the Booktube Prize fiction. When I was looking through everything, I thought, yeah, no, that's the one that stuck with me the most. Sort of surprising. The shortest book that I read is New Year, Same Trash by Samantha Irby. This was an ebook essay, just standalone novella, whatever. It was 28 pages, the equivalent of. So that was shorter than the picture books that I read this year. I've also read that New Year, Same Trash. I read that twice because I needed a laugh. So yeah. And the longest book that I read, which is also the book that I hated the most. Normally I don't cover the books that I hate the most, but this just happens. It was Potent Pleasures by Eloisa James. That was 480 pages. Yeah, that was just not a good book. Still like her a lot, but that was her first book and hoo boy, no thank you. Okay, here's where the numbers get really weird and I don't know why, but I only unhauled 1 book. That's 1. And I brought in 90. Yeah. So of those 90 that came in, let's see, 11 of them were from Paperback Swap. So they didn't really cost me anything, just postage, which is essentially nothing to me. Book of the month, I got 5 books from them. I have 11 books that were gifted to me and no ARCs coming through, which is good because I still have 3 outstanding ARCs from the last couple of years. That's terrible, but it's just how it is. Okay, so as of the end of September, my current physical TBR is 2,421 books. Start of the year was 2,400 even, end of quarter 1 was 2,417, and end of quarter 2 was 2,418. So it's slowly creeping up, which is to be expected because, again, I keep buying books. Reading more from the library than what I own, but whatever, I keep buying books. So the part that is confusing to me is how I can bring 90 books in, only have read 20 of the 20 owned, and my TBR is still only at 2,421. I don't know how this is possible, but I counted a lot. And I know I have number dyslexia, so I thought maybe I flipped something. I just did it on a check recently. I flipped the cents around, so it happens, but I don't know why that's the way that it is. And I did my little count. I do my little scratchy scratch in the back to double check everything. I double check everything on Goodreads, which is where I track the dates. And then on LibraryThing is where I track what came in, what came out. If I, unhauled something, whatever. So it's not terrible, but I would like for that number, if it's at all possible, and don't laugh, I would like to get my physical TBR pile at least down to where it was at the beginning of the year by the time 2020 ends. With holidays coming up. I mean, I mostly get books for presents, which is freaking awesome, and I love it. But that number is going to keep climbing, I think. So I really need to bust my bust and keep reading my own books and return a bunch of library stuff. It will help a little bit now that I don't have BookTube prize reading for the rest of the year. It will help a little bit now that I just returned about a dozen books this morning. Most of them were unread. And then I think I just have 2 books that are new releases at the end of the year. I'm already on the hold list for the library. So hopefully when those come in, I can just go in and get them and leave and not browse around and spend 5 minutes rating the graphic novel section or randomly trolling the nonfiction section for whatever I'm super interested in at the time. Like I went and looked at sort of Central American politics for a while. Like last week, I'm like, oh, Laura, what are you doing? What are you doing? That's not something that's interesting to me still, and that's not a valid topic to look into, but really, Laura, right now, not good. I made myself leave before I checked anything out, but still, it was like, come on. You need to get like a loose grip on things here. So that's pretty much it. Like I said, I will be hitting my official Goodreads goal of 150 books later today. So by the time you see this, I will have hit it. That means the rest of this year is just free range reading. There are no goals. I can do what I want. I'm hoping that I will be able to read quicker. I know I read fairly fast anyways, but I'd like to read at a quicker pace for a lot of books, and focus on pulling some of the books off of my shelves that I'm hanging on to that are unread. Just because since I already own them, I want to read them, but I don't think I'm going to necessarily like them a lot. I think I'll like them just fine. Otherwise, I wouldn't own them. I wouldn't have brought them into the house, but I'd like to focus on getting some of those titles out. Just read them and pass them on. Read them and pass them on, you know? So hopefully I can do that, and I can get below 2,400 before, like, you know, mid-December when my friends and I started changing presents, and I don't know. I also still really feel like unhauling a lot of things. And I did unhaul quite a few things earlier this month, but that's October and that counts for the 4th quarter, not the 3rd quarter. And the bed next to me, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There are 11 piles of books. Probably most have like 15 to 20 books in them on the guest bed next to me. All in various stages of in or out, or upstairs or downstairs, or whatever. Yeah. It's not a bad problem to have, I have to say, but still, I need to get a grip. Anywho, okay, I hope you guys are all doing well. I hope this was remotely interesting to you, and if not, sorry. Hopefully the next one will be interesting. Probably will just be a Friday reads, but I don't know. You might have a resort coming up. I'll see what I feel like this week, what happens, and whatever. So, okay, blah, blah, blah. I'll shut up now. I hope you guys are all doing well and taking care, and I will talk to you very soon. Bye.